Today we're going straight into the federal courtroom. We're looking at the intensely disturbing testimony of Cassie Ventura in the trial involving Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah, and for this, our main sources are the really detailed, verbatim reports coming out of Inner City Press. We're also looking at the analysis from the What is Miss Starworth YouTube channel.
And right up front, we have to say this stuff is sensitive, very graphic.
Absolutely. The YouTube video itself had a strong warning, and, we need to echo that. We're dealing with some deeply troubling allegations here.
Exactly. We're not trying to sensationalize it, obviously. The goal is really to pull out the most crucial and, frankly, shocking details from Cassie's testimony.
And to understand the atmosphere in the courtroom, which was apparently quite intense, and, what this testimony might actually mean for the trial going forward.
Yeah, the Inner City Press reporting really painted a picture, didn't it? A courtroom just thick with tension.
Oh, completely. It wasn't just, procedural. You could apparently feel the anticipation. And when she started speaking, just this sense of shock reportedly settled over the room.
Even her entrance, 8 months pregnant, gray maternity dress, high collar, eyes straight ahead.
Yeah, the What is My Starworth channel really picked up on that, describing her look as, less like a pop star and more like a witness to war?
It really set the tone, didn't it, for everything that came after?
Yeah.
Serious, somber.
Definitely. And the initial questions, they seemed pretty standard, right?
Yeah, how they met, how she got signed, how the relationship evolved, basic stuff.
But that didn't last long. According to the reports, the tone shifted very, very quickly into much darker territory.
Which brings us to, the core of it, her description of what she called a ritualistic system of abuse, all centered around Diddy's infamous dark room.
And she portrayed this as not just random acts, but something meticulously planned, deliberately carried out.
The specifics she alleged are, they're incredibly disturbing.
They really are. Talk of baby oil used ritually, this substance called man-mill, urination being part of it, and the allegation of being forced into acts during her period. It's a horrifying list.
It paints a picture of just systematic torment. And the level of detail she provided was striking. It suggests a pattern.
What really stood out was her claim that Diddy wasn't just participating, he was directing these things. She called them freak-offs.
Like a film director, she said. Every element precise, choreographed.
That level of alleged premeditation, that control, it's deeply unsettling.
And the details of the setup itself seem to back that up.
Yeah, dimmed lights, specific music chosen beforehand, scented oils, even how the towels were laid out, all pointing to this carefully constructed environment.
And her quote about it.
Oh, yeah. He was always producing.
Yeah.
Even in the worst moments, it was like he needed control over every second. That says so much about the alleged need for dominance.
So then she laid out this four-step process for these alleged rituals, starting with descriptive foreplay.
Okay, yeah. Step 1. She alleged she had to narrate everything happening, in real time, like a graphic audiobook.
While Diddy was where? In the corner.
Apparently, yeah. Watching from the corner, demanding every detail, what I saw, what I felt, what I thought.
Wow. That forced narration alone. It's a kind of psychological control, isn't it? Making her participate in her own degradation.
Exactly. And the courtroom reaction during this poll was apparently quite strong.
The judge reminded people about phones, a juror wiping their eyes. It shows how heavy this testimony was landing.
And she admitted being under the influence during these times. Alcohol, weed, pills, allegedly given to her by Diddy.
Said it dulled her senses, but didn't erase the memory, crucially.
Right. And her saying she knew it was wrong, but just didn't know how to say no. That speaks volumes about the alleged power dynamic, the coercion.
It's about eroding her agency, her ability to refuse.
And his alleged response if she hesitated, "You were boring." Or that really chilling line, "You don't do it, someone else will."
Just cold manipulation, tying her worth entirely to her compliance.
Yeah, the What is Me Starworth analysis mentioned that, quote, really hit hard, especially for Diddy's family in the courtroom, hearing it directly from her.
Okay, so moving on. Step 2. The touching phase and the alleged obsession with baby oil.
Right. This is where she reportedly clenched her hands while testifying, a visible sign of distress.
She talked about his obsession with sheen.
Yeah, how skin looked glistening in low light, which sounded maybe odd at first.
Until the prosecution brought up the evidence from the raids.
Exactly. Over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant found at his property.
1,000. That's not casual.
No. It suggests it was central to these alleged rituals. She claimed he'd stop things every 5 minutes just to reapply oil
Haha.
to her and the male escort.
Every inch of our skin had to shine, she said. He would scream if we looked dry.
Apparently, there was some nervous laughter at first in the court, but it died down fast when she explained the why.
The dehumanization aspect.
Yes, when you're covered in oil, you're not a person anymore. You're an object. That's what she testified.
Describing sliding on sheets, falling sometimes, and his reaction being laughter or anger about ruining the performance.
It really highlights that alleged shift, viewing her as a prop, not a person.
Which backs up her claim it wasn't about sex, but about power, control, submission,
Wanting to own the image, direct the scene completely.
and the hidden cameras.
She testified seeing little red lights blinking. Doesn't know where footage went, and prosecutors haven't confirmed finding any yet, but the allegation is there.
Plus the alleged staff involvement, assistants coming in mid-session.
Yeah, bringing towels, reapplying oil, handing off recording gear, acting like it was totally normal.
That normalization is maybe one of the most disturbing parts, if true.
It suggests an environment where this was just accepted, maybe even facilitated.
Okay, so by the time she got to step 3, oral servitude, the courtroom was apparently silent, heavy.
Yeah. She admitted trying to rush through it, just to get it over with.
Her reason was heartbreaking.
I wasn't there because I wanted to be. I was there because I thought if I didn't do it, he'd find someone else. Again, that feeling of being replaceable. The coercion.
She was trembling visibly while describing this part.
Reportedly, yes. Describing him allegedly filming, directing her and the escort.
Telling her.
Slower, more eye contact.
Talked to him like I was acting in some grotesque porno he wrote in his mind.
Yeah.
Just awful.
Yeah. Forced performance, not intimacy.
And then step 4, intercourse, which wasn't always him participating directly.
According to her testimony, no. Sometimes just watching, sometimes joining in. Depended on his comfort level with the escort, apparently.
She used the phrase playing God.
Chilling phrase. But it was what allegedly happened after that really shocked everyone.
This is the part about the semen.
Yes. She testified he demanded she take the escort semen and rub it on Diddy's own chest and nipples.
And her explanation.
Through tears, apparently. He liked it.
Yeah.
He said it made him feel powerful.
The reaction in the courtroom sounds intense. Reporter gasping, juror looking ill.
Judge called a recess. Even Diddy, mostly stone-faced, reportedly had a foot twitching. A visible crack, maybe.
And it didn't stop there, even after the recess.
No. She testified about being forced to participate during her period. No breaks. Staff just bringing extra linens if needed.
It was like I wasn't even a person. Just something he could use whenever the mood struck. A complete objectification.
And that other degrading incident she described. The urination.
While she was intoxicated, frozen on the floor, 2 men standing over her, feeling unable to speak.
Horrifying. And she said he'd only stop things if he got bored or annoyed. Never out of concern for her.
Her admitting the jealousy and fear of abandonment kept her there. It's so sad.
And believing him when he allegedly said, if I left, no one would believe me. That psychological cage.
So then the focus shifted a bit to the actual setup of these rooms.
Right. Staff prepping them meticulously. Lighting, furniture, oils, all to set specific mood he wanted.
She recalled seeing someone adjusting a spotlight in the Miami mansion.
Yeah, over a velvet sofa. Being told Diddy wanted the shadows to hit just right. It emphasizes that performative aspect again.
And the cameras were everywhere, she said. Obvious ones, hidden ones. She stopped trying to count.
That constant surveillance adds another layer of control. No privacy, ever.
Then the drugs angle came up again.
The mystery pills, given by Diddy, allegedly, told they'd help you feel it better, but never saying what they were.
And those text messages the prosecution showed.
Yeah, an assistant allegedly telling her, don't worry about it, Huff says take it, when she asked about a pill. Serious questions about consent and intoxication there.
She said they blurred her sense of time, her memory.
And the room full of toys and devices,
Yeah.
including something she didn't know how to use.
And him allegedly bringing in a sex worker to train her on it, that's next level preparation, if true. Escalating depravity.
Then there were the spiritual freak-offs.
Another bizarre layer.
Rituals on specific dates, full moons, his birthday.
Yeah, burning incense, tribal music, reciting phrases from supposedly ancient African texts. His explanation being it was about power, helping her channel something bigger.
It's hard to even process. But it seems to fit the alleged pattern of control, maybe adding this weird ideological justification.
And then the testimony moved to direct physical abuse. outside of these rituals.
When asked if the darkroom sessions turned violent, she just said, yes, often.
Not random violence, she claimed, but a calculated extension of Diddy's control.
He'd snap if she broke character. Cried or hesitated. Suggests zero tolerance for deviation.
She described one specific incident, refusing to engage with an escort.
And he allegedly dragged her into the room, slammed the door, screamed, pushed her onto a metal frame, resulting in a scar.
And they showed a photo of the scar to the jury.
Yeah. Then another time she tried to leave a session, he allegedly blocked the door.
And slapped her, calmly.
Not in a rage, she said, calmly, like he was correcting a child. Spent the night crying in the bathroom.
And the staff being present for some of this.
That's maybe the most chilling part. An assistant handing her water, whispering, "You're okay, you're doing great."
Her reaction, I think that was the worst part, that nobody even acted like it was wrong. Just gut-wrenching.
And her lawyers played that voicemail. Diddy allegedly saying, "You know I love you, you make me do crazy things."
Prosecution argued that's classic emotional abuse, layered onto the physical dominance.
In Cassie's own admission, "I didn't think of it as abuse at the time. I thought of it as love." That really sums up the alleged psychological manipulation.
Okay, so after Cassie, the male escort, known as DA, testified,
Right, his demeanor was described as calm, which must have been a real contrast.
he confirmed participating in sessions, but his story differed on who initiated contact.
Yeah, he claimed Kathy contacted him each time using a fake name. Said it was for her birthday or just for fun.
And he described Diddy as mostly quiet during the sessions, just watching.
That's what he said. And then the really big contradiction.
About the urination incident.
DA claimed Cassie asked him to do it, directly contradicting her account that it was Diddy's idea or demand.
That's a significant point of contention, obviously. Could potentially undermine that part of her story.
It could, but DA did corroborate other key details.
Like the atmosphere being weird, very controlled.
Yes, and the rules. No speaking unless asked, no touching Diddy, everything on camera. That matches Cassie's description of the control and surveillance.
And he saw her bruised and teary once.
He did. And he testified seeing Diddy shove her against a wall during an argument. Crucially, he said, that wasn't a freak-off, that was abuse.
So he drew a line between the alleged rituals and what he saw as clear physical violence.
Exactly. And under cross-examination, it came out he was paid well in cash, and he stopped taking her calls after seeing Diddy throw a bottle. Said he didn't want to be around that.
So his testimony was complex, undermined one specific claim, but supported others about control, recording, and violence.
Definitely added layers. And apparently a juror was holding back tears when he left the stand. Still, very impactful testimony.
Then came the Intercontinental Hotel surveillance footage from 2016.
The courtroom went silent, reportedly. Everyone bracing for this now infamous video.
The descriptions are just brutal. Raw, unfiltered violence.
Diddy stalking her down the hall, grabbing her head, throwing her down, walking away, then coming back to kick her.
Calculated, cold attack, not a scuffle, caught clearly on camera.
Cassie watched it stone-faced, apparently. Understandable. Diddy, though, reportedly tense, twitching, fidgeting, confronted with the visual proof.
Prosecution paused it at key moments.
Yeah, zoomed in on her hitting the floor, his expression, the distance, really driving home the alleged deliberate nature of it.
Then the security guard from the hotel, Israel Flores, testified.
Now an LAPD officer. He recalled finding her dazed, crying, just wanting to leave.
He said he had to intervene when Diddy wouldn't let her go.
And Flores noted seeing a bruise under her eye back then, which is significant because...
It wasn't in his original 2016 report.
Yeah, actually. Raises questions about that initial report, potentially supporting Cassie's account of the severity.
Defense tried to frame the video as an isolated outburst, right? Not proving racketeering or trafficking.
Standard defense move. But the prosecution countered with a timeline, connecting the hallway assault to the alleged pattern in the darkroom, arguing it was his rage when control slipped.
And the digital forensics expert added more weight.
Testified Diddy deleted videos from cloud storage right after that hotel assault.
They couldn't play the deleted videos, but the recovered file names.
Session room 3, Cassie Freakoff 2. Chilling descriptions, strongly suggesting an attempt to hide evidence.
Then the trial really opened up, with more witnesses.
Yeah, this parade of new witnesses, former assistants, security, even a former bad boy artist, shattering any idea this was just between Cassie and Diddy.
And they all seem to echo similar themes.
Control and secrecy seem to be the common thread, like the assistant ordered to buy huge amounts of baby oil, no questions asked.
Or the one finding Cassie sobbing alone, looking like a ghost, begging not to tell Diddy she was crying. paints a picture of fear.
And Trisha Weller's testimony was reportedly explosive.
Not involved in prior lawsuits, attended a party in 2017.
Found herself in a room with 3 men, one filming, door locked. Later paid $7,000 via a shell company.
And seeing Cassie avoid eye contact afterwards, like, she was used to seeing that happen, the detail is damning.
The jury reaction was apparently very strong to Weller's testimony, and then the videographer.
Claiming he destroyed 300 hours of footage at Diddy's request.
Yeah. And Diddy allegedly saying, burn it, it's not for the public, it's for God's eyes only.
God's eyes only? What does that even mean? So ominous, raises huge questions about what was on that footage.
Throughout all this, Diddy's demeanor apparently changed drastically.
Scribbling notes, rarely making eye contact, the sketch artist drawing during Cassie's testimony. Hands over ears, silent scream.
The reporter's comment, he looked like a man witnessing his own funeral. Wow. Defense tried a last-ditch motion to suppress evidence, but the judge denied it.
Yeah, emphasized the need for complete transparency. Diddy reportedly slumped, put his head in his hands, looked like defeat.
The prosecution's closing argument framed it all as premeditated trauma, building an empire on broken people.
They laid out that timeline, arguing a pattern of paying off, silencing, burying accusations.
And that financial ledger they revealed, never seen before.
Monthly payments labeled care, silence, loyalty, ranging from $2,500 to over $80,000.
And Diddy offered no explanation when asked about it, just silence.
Cassie's team ended their case with that 2015 voice memo.
Yeah, Diddy saying, people think they can leave me, nobody leaves me. The possessiveness is chilling. Jury was apparently stunned silent.
The fallout outside court is already significant. Name stripped from his alma mater, doctorate revoked, key to NYC rescinded.
And he faces potential life in prison. The empire built on records, endorsements, bravado, it's crumbling.
And this might just be the beginning, talk of a wider REO investigation.
That's the speculation. Over 100 potential victims waiting, possibly implicating others who enabled him. This could get much, much bigger.
Wow. So this deep dive, it's uncovered some truly shocking, deeply disturbing details from that courtroom.
Absolutely. And the multiple layers of corroboration, the footage, the other witnesses alongside Cassie's detailed account, it paints a very grim picture.
A picture of alleged systematic abuse, pervasive control, and maybe a much larger criminal enterprise.
The potential implications are huge and, frankly, quite chilling.
So as you, our listener, process all this, the detailed testimony, the corroborating evidence, what do you think this case reveals? If these allegations hold true, what does it say about power dynamics? Not just in entertainment, but anywhere power is imbalanced.
And what are those broader implications? When allegations like this surface, what does it mean for accountability, for justice, for the systems that might allow such things to happen? It's certainly a lot to think about, even after laying out all these details.